Merry Christmas, everyone! The time has come to officially kick off my favorites and non-favorites of the entire year of 2021. The next several videos you're going to see from me is me talking to you all about my favorite books and my least favorite books of 2021. I love doing this. I do it every year in December, so we're going to get right into it. But before we do, just a disclaimer here. Obviously, I'm not going to be including books that I'm reading in the month of December because, well, I haven't read most of them yet, so it's really not fair to add any of the books I haven't read yet. But all of the books that I have read from December last year all the way through to November this year, and including November this year, will be included. Today we are doing my favorite authors. Which authors just give me this glow and this sense of, yes, I love your works? We are about to find out. Usually I do these in a ranking order, but I'm not going to have a ranking order this time. I'm just going to show them to you one by one because I love all of these authors. Some of them I might like more than others, and I'll save them for later on in the video, but it is kind of safe to say that I do love all of them. So let's get right on into it. The first author that I want to talk to you about that is one of my favorites for the year is Sophie Kinsella. Oh my gosh, I've only read one of her works this year, which was this book, I've Got Your Number, and I need to update this edition, but I absolutely loved this book. Sometimes, you guys, it takes me a couple of books to get into an author, and then sometimes I know right off the bat that I love an author after just reading one of their books. And that was the case with Sophie Kinsella and with her book, I've Got Your Number. What I love about Sophie Kinsella with this book is that it is a romance, but there are so many humorous aspects to this book. I believe it's officially known as a rom-com, so romantic comedy. There's, comedic moments in the book, humorous moments, and there are. I don't think I went past a page, or at least every page or second page, there was a moment where I was laughing because it was just so funny. So reading this book has inspired me to next year pick up her Shopaholic series, and I'm so excited about that. A little spoiler for you guys, the Shopaholic series will make it onto my SAS list. I'm going to do my SAS list at the end of the year, but loved this book. Love Sophie Kinsella. Her writing style is really easy to read, and she makes me laugh. What more can you want than that? Next up is a debut author who brought out their debut book in 2021, and that author is Kevin Van Wye, and his book Date Me Bryson Keller is the book that I read this year. This is his debut novel. This is an LGBTIQ plus YA, and it was just so fantastic. So the premise of this book is that we open up with high school students at this party before the year begins, and Bryson Keller is the straightest jock in the school, and he's also one of the most popular kids in the school. He is dared by one of his friends to date anyone and everyone that asks him, and Bryson takes on that dare. So our protagonist ends up asking Bryson out. I don't remember his name, but it's a guy. And he asks Bryson out in a joking way, saying, since everyone who asks you out, you're dead to date them, date me. And Bryson Keller surprisingly says, okay, why not? You guys, I have so much love for this book, and I have so much love for Kevin Van Wye because this book did something that truly shocked me. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire time I read this book, and it never did. Bryson Keller is such an amazing character. For a seemingly straight guy to end up dating a gay guy in high school with absolutely no reservations whatsoever, I truly enjoyed this. And for Kevin Van Wye's debut book, I'm looking forward to his next one. I don't remember what's called off the top of my head, but I do have it in my projected 2022 TBR. The next author that I want to talk about, I've definitely read more than one of their works, and that is Karen M. McManus. Okay, you guys, I came into 2021, I didn't even know who Karen M. McManus was, and now I have read 3 of her works, and I've already set up a buddy read for next year to read another one of her works. So let's talk about the books that I have read so far of hers. I've read One of Us is Lying, One of Us is Next, and Two Can Keep a Secret. And oh my goodness, I love all of these books. Karen M. McManus is a fantastic author, and one thing that I truly love about Karen M. McManus as an author is the way that she, as a female author, writes her male characters. I tell you what, when I search for my 2021 fictional boyfriend, he will most likely be from one of these books. I mean, seriously, I have my Noxie, who I think is in this one, and I think it's my Malcolm from this one, and there's definitely one from this one that I don't remember who it is, but maybe Noxie's in this one, I don't even know. But oh my word, Karen M. McManus is just so fantastic with the way she writes her male characters. Not to say that she writes her female characters terribly, but I just really appreciated that as a female author, she was able to get into the young adult male mind, and she did that really exceptionally well. Her thrillers, I also really appreciate. I thought they were done fantastically. The way that One of Us is Next wrapped up threw me for the biggest loop. We have a reveal, and then we have a second reveal. Oh my goodness, fantastic. And the way that She Can Keep a Secret wrapped up was pretty good as well. And also One of Us is Lying was fantastic as well. Karen M. McManus, you are definitely one of my new all-time favorite authors. Next up, we have an author that has answered the question that millions of readers had across the world, at least in my opinion. Hey, where do I go after I've read Harry Potter to death? And the author that finally answered that question, at least for me, was Jessica Townsend. Oh, this author is fantastic. I've read all 3 of her works so far, all 3, and I'm hoping she's releasing another one next year. I think she is. If she is, I'm going to buddy read that one. I buddy read the majority of these books with another Jessica from Lady Lovestead Reads, so a big shout out to her. We had a fun time reading these, and they are the Nevermore series. So I read Book 1, Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow, Book 2, Wondersmith, and Book 3, Hollowpox, and I just love all of these books. If you are a fan of the Harry Potter series, regardless of what you think of J.K. Rowling, if you're a fan of the Harry Potter series and you want more that's kind of written in the same vein, pick up the Nevermore series. You will not be disappointed. Jessica Townsend is amazing at her world building, especially. Many times I've said I want to go and live here, specifically where our main character lives, which is at a hotel called the Deucalion. I want to live with all the characters that live there. There's such a diverse range of characters. There is an opera singer, I forgot her name, but I love her. I want to live with her. There is the crazy and yet whimsy and wonderful Jupiter, who I absolutely love. There is even a massive cat in the series that you can see there. Like, he's a massive cat, and his name is Finestra. Oh, she... I honestly don't know. There is a cat. I say he, but I think Finestra's a she, but it really doesn't matter. Finestra, who I absolutely love. Oh my gosh, you guys. I heard of this series for the first time last year, finally got onto it this year, and after reading book 1, I couldn't stop. It was fantastic. I can't wait for book 4 to come out. Seriously, Jessica Townsend, you have done me an absolute solid in releasing this series. Thank you so much. And now it's time for me to discuss my next favourite author, and I need to introduce this author to you. I think she writes under many different pseudonym names, and if I'm right, then I need to find more of her works. But let me just say this sentence to you, because if you are a fan of what I'm about to say, You need to read her works. It's not a give it a go and see how you go. It's a you need to read her works. I can't believe I did not know her before now. How much do you love Christmas? The spirit of Christmas, the traditions that come with Christmas. How would you like to live in a town that celebrates Christmas all year round? Oh my gosh, if you want everything about Christmas, the ambiance, the atmosphere, the culture of Christmas year round in a series, then you cannot go past Jacqueline Frost. So I have read her 3 books that are out so far in the Christmas Tree Farm mystery series. I only have book 1 as a physical copy. The others I'm hoping to get at some point soon, but this is book 1, 12 Sleighs of Christmas. The cover is insanely gorgeous. Insanely. That's why it's normally up here where the Christmas Carol is currently. But as you can see, with the Christmas trees on the front and with the title of this series being the Christmas Tree Farm series, it sounds like it would be Christmassy. Have you read A Christmas Story before? Did you like it? Because it has just enough Christmas in it. Nasa, put that book down right now and pick up this one. This is all about Christmas. Like, we open up with a character who has had to, for reasons I won't get into, move back to her hometown of Mistletoe in Maine, where in December they are preparing for what is called the Reindeer Games that they hold annually, which are little games that they play every so often throughout the month of December to celebrate Christmas. Now again, their town does celebrate Christmas all year round, but this book takes place in December. So they have, I think, about 6 or 7 different games they play, ranging from who can create the biggest snowball as it rolls down the mountain to who can create the best gingerbread house while they are being blindfolded and more. It is Christmas, Christmas, Christmas to the umpteenth degree. And if I ever got the opportunity to meet Jacqueline Frost, she would get the biggest hug from me because this is what you need. If you're a Christmas buff like I am, you need this book. You need this series. Oh my gosh, Jacqueline Frost, welcome to my favorite authors list. Phil Stamper. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot promote this guy enough. I have so much love for this guy as an author and so much appreciation for what he has done. Phil Stamper is an author of YA LGBTIQ+ male books. But what I love about his books is that there is so much more to them than you might initially think. They are not just male romances. They are male romances that deal with LGBTIQ+ social issues in them. And Phil Stamper always takes a real and raw look at these social issues. I just feel like these books were written for me. I've read both of the books. He's released 2 books so far, and he's releasing 2 more next year. So he released 1 book in 2020, 1 in 2021, and then he's releasing 2 in 2022. So we're doubling up next year, and I can't wait to continue on with my progress with Phil Stamper. So in 2020, he released The Gravity of Us. If you're going to start reading Phil Stamper, I recommend this one. This one is a lot more lighthearted than his second book, but this is fantastic. And then the one that he released this year was As Far As You'll Take Me. And I just love both of these books. I do believe I gave them both 5 stars. They are absolutely fantastic. Phil Stamper, he's my man. He is. When it comes to LGBTIQ+ books, have you heard the term auto-buy author? As in, you see an author's name attached to a book, they've written a book, you're going to automatically buy it because it's by that author. That is Phil Stamper for me. I will buy everything that he releases because I trust him, I love him as an author, and I just feel like he has written his books for me. He probably hasn't, but if you're watching Phil Stamper and you have written these books for me, let me know, because it wouldn't surprise me, because it feels like they were written for me. And that's where I'm going to leave it. No, of course, I'm totally kidding. If you know me, if you've seen any of my videos, then I'm sure you're scratching your head going, Mr. Francy, are you sure you haven't missed one? Mr. Francy, think hard. Are you sure? Are you sure you haven't missed one author by any chance? Yes, you're absolutely right. Coming in at number one is, of course, my dear friend, Mr. Brando Sando, otherwise known as Brandon Sanderson. I'm going to hold up The Final Empire, but seriously, with the exception of Dawn Shard and The Rhythm of War, I've read every single book that Brandon Sanderson has released in the Cosmere universe, and the lowest rating I've given any Brandon Sanderson book was a novella that I gave 2 stars. But aside from that one novella, would be 3 stars. For every other book, the lowest was 3 stars. So it was either 3, a 4, or a 5-star read for me, with the majority of them getting 5 stars. That's how much I love what I call Mr. Brando Sando. This guy, I mean, if Phil Stamper writes LGBTIQ plus MM books for me, Brando Sando writes fantasy for me. I love this guy. I can talk about him till the cows come home. Brando Sando writes fantasy books. He writes high fantasy books in his Cosmere world. And in case you want to know the difference, low fantasy is set in our world. High fantasy is set in a whole new world that the author creates themselves. And Brando Sando is known for creating or inventing the hard magic system. So the difference between a hard magic system and a soft magic system is that with a soft magic system, we may not know absolutely everything about the magic, like we may not necessarily know how it is accessed or the limitations of what it can and can't do, but with a hard magic system, you know everything. You know how it's accessed, you know what it does, you know what its limitations are. They are fully fleshed out magic systems. And that's what I love about Brando Sando. I love his stories too, of course, because they're wonderful stories, but I love his hard magic systems. So of course, no favourite authors list for me would be complete without my dear, dear, dear Brando Sando. But that is it. Those are my top favourite authors for 2021. Who were your favourite authors in 2021? Let me know in the comments section below. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you guys go with peace, blessings, and so much love. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching, and of course, be kind, love one another, and happy reading!